Hey guys, I'm back real quick just to do a quick response to Mark GlassOrchidAftermath, his contest, his 200 subscriber contest. Congratulations, man! It's really awesome. So I don't really know if I have really had anything. I mean, if I looked hard enough, I might be able to find some maybe a true countercultural artifact, but instead, I kind of went a different approach, and hopefully this isn't a lame response, but I figure besides music, maybe besides drugs, what else would be important to a countercultural movement besides literature? So I'm just going to show some of my favorite books that could be considered somewhat countercultural. So real quick, first I'll start with, well, hold on. Let's start with Mark mentioned Hunter S. Thompson, and I'm a huge Hunter S. Thompson fan. That copy of Fear and Loathing in Rolling Stone is awesome, really. But yeah, I'll show you some of my Hunter S. Thompson books. I think I have a few more, but his last book I have somewhere, but I couldn't find. Alright, but of course we have Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, just a cheap copy of that, but a classic book. And of course we have Hell's Angels, which is a fantastic book. I know some people that read Fear and Loathing and read this and didn't like this, which I do not get, because this is a fantastic book. This is just a biography, actually, the life of Hunter S. Thompson, Gonzo. If you want to know about Hunter S. Thompson, read this book, because it is fantastic. Published by Rolling Stone. It's all interviews, but it's fantastic. Fear and Loathing on the Campaign Trail 72. Now, you really got to have a slight interest in politics to get through this, but the writing in it is brilliant. Also, maybe a historical context, too, of that election, but this is a great book. The Rum Diary, there's a movie coming out of this. Hunter S. Thompson's really the first novel he wrote, but published way later. So, cool book. More political writings. This is Better Than Sex, Confessions of a Political Junkie. Trapped Like a Rat in Mr. Bill's Neighborhood. So this is like his 90s writing on the, 90s political situation. Bill Clinton, not bad. Generation of Swine, writings from the 80s. A lot of stuff put together, but also very interesting, very cool. And another biography for him that isn't the greatest was written by a friend of his, Jay Cowan. Not the best one I've read, but still pretty cool. Also show Kurt Vonnegut. I have a few books by him, but this is Slaughterhouse-Five, one of his more well-known books. A brilliant, brilliant, brilliant writer. Just fantastic. Just the way he writes. I would definitely call him a countercultural kind of writer. But yeah, his language and just the way he puts his passages together. I read that he actually wrote by the page. He made every page perfect and would have 50 drafts of one page before he could move on to the next page. And you can almost tell that in his writing. But Kurt Vonnegut, fantastic book, writer. Of course, Henry Miller, Tropic of Cancer. Another one, just an amazing book. Really, read that. A couple, I don't know if this would be considered countercultural, but still an important book. George Orwell's 1984. Really good book. I guess I would get people thinking. Tom Wolfe's Electric Kool-Aid Acid Test. Another really important book. I should have pulled my Burroughs. I have a lot of Burroughs too. Summer of Love. Joel Sylvan. Not the greatest book in the world, but it talks about a lot of things that other books really wouldn't get into. Other bands, like Quicksilver Messenger Service, things like that. So, very cool. Now, my Kerouac. I haven't really read Kerouac in a long time, but when I was probably 13 or 14, I discovered On the Road, and I can honestly say that book just changed my life. At that age, I mean, I can't really say that I experienced a lot of the things that were going on there, but I really soon would. So Kerouac's just an important writer. Well, here's a decent place to start. The Portable, Jack Kerouac. Has a little bit of everything. Very cool. Visions of Cody, some of his more experimental writing. Cody is basically Neil Cassidy. So, very cool book. The Dharma Bums, one of his more popular books. Basically writings on his life while he was really deep into the study of Buddhism and Zen. This is published more recently, I think maybe last year. But a book written, a collaboration between Burroughs and Kerouac, and the hippos were boiled in their tanks. It was based on an early murder that happened within the Beat generation. But still, not the greatest book in the world, but still interesting and probably an important Beat artifact. And of course, we have On the Road. I have a few copies of this. I also have the original scroll, but this might have been my first copy. On the Road. If you have not read this book, I highly recommend it. It's a book that really, it's more about language than plot, but the plot, the story is good too. But it definitely is a book that makes you want to live life, you know what I mean, to experience life. Very uplifting book, written by a manic depressive kind of dude. Some poetry, Kerouac, poems all sizes, on City Lights book, and also Scattered Poems, small little poetry book, also on City Lights books. And finally, another more recently published, Kerouac book, but it's basically him writing about what he knows about Buddhism and the life of the Buddha. So this is Wake Up, A Life of the Buddha. So another interesting book, especially if you like Buddhism. I could go on and on, but hopefully this is not a lame response. So thanks again, Mark. Congratulations, very, very cool. So take care.